to like grow for real.
That's what I like. But see, also, I will catch myself listening to recordings of Negro spirituals as well as recording of chain gang prison workers because they would do the same thing. That's not about who the best singer is. You talk about who has the most energy and the most soul and the most, yeah, like they sang to get through their day, to survive their day. It wasn't a show for anybody else. They were trying to survive, and that feeling comes through. And they, like I said, they weren't the Luther Vandrosses out there doing the nah, but the feeling for me is always there. For me, I'd rather watch The Color Purple when they do God Trying to Tell You Something than some of the newer contemporary stuff, man. It's just
a lot of people feel that way.
It's
I personally like both, and I see like that there's a whole lot of different genres within the gospel music realm. There's rap, there's rock, there's light rock, there's old school traditional choir, there's new school type, I like it all. I need a mixture of it all, personally, but I do find a lot of people like the old school traditional.
I love old school traditional.
Yo, man, that stuff hit hard, a little different.
Yes,
man.
it does.
It does hit a little different.
Whenever you're going through it, whenever you're really going through it, sometimes just the ministry through music is just what you need. And like I told y'all, when I get to that point, I put my headphones in, I turn on my music, that ministry. That's why, like, for me, I feel that gospel music and its ministry, like, it ministers itself. There is nothing else that's needed. And like, just that music of something that, to get you through. Man, I'm telling you, I put on my music and I boo-hoo like a baby. And when I'm done, I feel good. Like, I feel like, I got my point across to, God. That's how I feel. Like, I feel like I'm like, you hear this?
That's when you
feel connected. You hear this? Right. This is me right now. Do you hear this? Like, I can't express my words, but I'm going to listen to what I need. And sometimes, like, that in itself is just,
In addition to that, like,
what's y'all like go-to song like right now? Like this week, this month, this year? What's that one that y'all go to? Like you said, when you need to purge, yo, what's the one?
The Blood.
All right.
Who's the Blood by? Because there's a lot of the Blood.
Girl, give me the hymnal version. Okay. I like how what's his name? Man, I can't think of his name right this second. Let me pull up his name. I love how he sings it. Oh my gosh. James Fortune and Fire. When he did that reversion of The Blood, I said, oh, you were speaking to my soul. That is my song. Like, that's a song that would take me all the way up through there. You know what I'm saying? They take me all the way up and through there. They just take me. It took me to the cross. Let's just put it that way. It took me to the cross.
There you go.
I love Tasha Cobbs, and it's called You Know My Name.
There's so many songs for me though, like that just take me up all the way through there. Yeah. I can't pick one. I mean, The Blood.
It's hard. It's hard. You'll have certain ones that's on rotation. That one for me, when I hear You Know My Name, it reminds me that he knows you. He knows me personally.
Right.
So like sometimes when I feel like I'm on an island by myself, because I isolate myself sometimes, especially if I'm stressed out or whatever, it reminds me like, no, he sees you. No, he heard you.
You know my name.
Like it's so many people on this earth, but he knows you. So it's like, yeah, that song is a big one. There are definitely more. that's a big
one. Right.
All right, if I gotta pick one that's my go-to right now, there's a song called "Changing My Life." I mean, it's credited to this guy named John, like Pagano or something. Anyways, it's a choir song, but it's in the movie Leap of Faith. I don't know if y'all ever seen that movie before or not. It has Steve Martin in it, and there's one particular. I'll share it with y'all later, but I think it's a pretty powerful song in that particular movie. And right now, that's my go-to.
Speaking of movie songs, that song by Cynthia Erivo from the Harriet Tubman movie, the song "Stand Up," I believe she might have helped write it, and she
Harriet Tubman.
Huh?
Harriet Tubman helped write it?
No, it says Cynthia Erivo.
Oh, okay. You said it was in there. Okay, all right.
Cynthia Erivo sings it, and I believe she helped. I think she co-wrote it. I think that's such a beautiful song. It's called "Stand Up." And I think that's a very encouraging song as well.
There's a couple, like, for me, like, I like, give me Fred Hammond, give me James Fortune and Fire, give me Tasha Cobbs, give me the Winans, give me Shirley Caesar. You know what I mean? Like, those are the people, like the Mississippi Mass Choir. Like, those are
Mississippi Mass Choir.
Yes. I'm telling you.
I need Kirk Franklin.
Yes.
I need Kirk Franklin.
James
I need Mary because I love Mary so much. I love Molly Music. I'm kind of late with this, but I just become a fan of Lecrae, but he's such a beast.
Mm-hmm.
Who else?
Donnie McClurkin. I'm a Donnie fan.
Tremaine Hawkins.
Yes. Kurt Carr.
The Clark sisters.
Oh, yes. How can we forget them? Like,
they are amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So for me, it's just, listening to music, I feel like that it's such a, like, I will always say it's such a ministry. And I feel that the gospel world and those who sing in the gospel world do not get paid enough. They get paid, not a lot of people are into that type of music. Everybody wants to hear that, like, oh, what's her name? What's that white lady's name? I really liked her. What was her name? She did that one song. I can't think of it. Because I definitely thought she was a black lady until, like, I seen, what song did she sing? I need Hillary back on here. She need to hurry up back because I can't remember that lady's name.
One thing about gospel music, and it kind of plays off. I'll just say the law of attraction plays off of gospel, in the sense of, if you keep saying it out your mouth, you keep repeating it, positivity, whatever, it's going to manifest in your world. Mm-hmm. And that's the nice thing about gospel music. If you keep playing it, I'm gonna survive. This prayer is going to be answered. I'm going to be blessed. Whatever the words are, when they're repeated and we believe it wholeheartedly, it starts to manifest in your world.
Yeah, I have been singing all day. Jesus will work it out. He will work it out. This problem that I had. It's all too soft. I prayed and I prayed.
That's my jam. Turn it over to Jesus.
Jesus. And I start worrying about it. Keep singing it, girl, because it just like
turn it over to the Lord. He work it out.
Oh yeah. Yes, girl. It's just one of those things where, like, but like, we used to go in, we used to go hard, especially like, that was one thing that our youth, our young people, that's what we did. And so for me, it was like, I was like, all right, cool. Music was where it was at. Music was one of our strongholds in the church. And a lot, like in our church, the youth are the ones who did the music. Like we played the drums, we played the organ and all that stuff. Everybody, it was more sanctioned towards like, the bishop's kids and stuff. But it was the youth that was doing it. None of the older folks knew what they was doing when it came to the music. So at least some of them didn't. But
I'm so used to like the older people being the ones in control of it and not letting the younger people, or they, like I said, they would let us slide in on Youth Sunday and slide right on back out for all the good people.
Not when it came to music. Like for instance, like Hillary's ex-husband, he was the bishop's son, so he ran a lot of that. Like he ran organ, and he did all the sound stuff, like when they went and bought the amplifiers, when they bought the drums and stuff for the church. Like he did all of that. And like his brother played the drums, and another kid in our church, Gabe, he played the organ. Or Bishop's the one who led the youth. Like now, Hillary's kids, their grandfather, when he was living, he was Mr. Music Man, Bishop Barrett. He was Mr. Music Man. He loved music. He loved that the young people loved music, that we love to sing and dance and play, like, and especially singing. He was big about the choir. We had several different choirs. Like we had the mass choir, we had the local choirs, and we had the youth choirs. And the youth choirs, we didn't just sing once a year or whatever. We sang according to at first it was every 5th Sunday, but then it became every Sunday because the choir was just a mix of all of us in it. So a lot of us got that. The only thing that I can say is a downfall at our church is that like our the one guy who ran our mass choir, he got to pick who sang like leads in the mass choir, and there was only a few people that he picked upon. He didn't like everybody, and if you didn't sound right, he was cutting you off and talking bad to you. So
he was throwing shoes like Maddie Moss Clark.
No, he was just yelling at us all the time. Or
that doesn't help.
Or
sometimes it does. Sometimes they'll make a star out of you, like the Clark sisters, or like Michael Jackson,
or like Tina Turner, or like right.
Sometimes, unfortunately, it makes a star out of you. The tough love.
No, she's back.
Oh, I'm glad she's back. Hillary, I needed you, girl.
Talking about a white girl sound like a black woman.
No. Listen. We're talking about we're talking about the music in the church, right? And I told them music was real big in our church. And sorry, I brought up your ex-husband and how he ran some of the stuff at the church. So when I'm talking about choir, organ and Dom played the drums and stuff, the youth played, it wasn't older folks. It was the youth that played the instruments and stuff. But we were talking about choir. We were talking about the mass choir. I was talking about Hyman yelling at people.
I tell people all the time they don't know nothing about no choir rehearsal because they didn't have choir rehearsal. So with Hyman.
Right. I'm telling you, he was a mess.
Hillary, what's your Jesus jam right now? What song gets you through? With
take you all the way up through there.
Yeah. And I know there's many, but which one is hitting you in your shana right now?
Yo.
She said, "Sha-na-na." I'm so mad. Is she like me? I had the problem. Brandon.
Life together, Brandon.
I feel like Richard Pryor in Harlem Nights. And the boxer's talking and we're trying to get to the...
That's Satan. Satan don't want us to have this podcast episode.
Right, yeah, something's going on.
I'm trying to get the words to the song because
you breaking up.
Yeah, it's like, it's definitely lagging and choppy.
What is that song? Am I?
Yeah.
Yeah.
When you were talking, it was like...
I really, really, really want to know what this is. When she says that she don't remember it, it's fine. But then she says like the song, it like just completely gets choppy. Weird, man. Something's up.
I think it's that song. Well, we sang it on Sunday, I guess. Like I say, "Great Are You, Lord." You know, it's our breath. It's your breath in our lungs, so we pour out our praise to you only. That's one. It's a newer one. You know that one?
Mm-mm. Who is that by?
It's by our white brothers and sisters. I don't know their names.
They have the best and most simplistic worship songs.
So this is here's my
Hillary. What is the name of that? Listen, and I sound so bad when I say this, but what was the name of the white lady that sang that one song that we used to sing all the time? It was a praise and worship song, and we found out that I didn't know she was white. She had that real short haircut. Oh, what is the name of that song?
I just did a whole post about blue-eyed soul people that people thought was black and they're not.
So here's my take on the spiritual genres of music. Let me just put it that way. So gospel music is black music because, and it all derives from, so soul music itself, period, comes from, well, gospel music comes from soul music. They're both the same thing. It's just that some people threw Jesus's name and God and Lord into some of their songs, but it's the same thing as soul music. That it is.
It's like a number. If you got two Jesus, then it's the name Jesus in there twice. Then it's now a
gospel, right? So here's the thing, right? So there is the soul music, right? And so the soul music, because soul music, rock and roll comes from soul. Rock and roll comes from soul. R&B comes from soul. All these forms of music come from soul because they're coming from your soul. They're coming from some place within you. So they're created
country
that way.
Music, all of that stuff. Yeah.
Right. It's all soul music. Okay. It just all depends on who you're singing to when you're singing the song and what type of chords you've placed with the music and what type of rhythm it is that determines what type of song it is. So I believe that gospel music is rooted from those hard trying times that you needed that soul fight, reach, go down in the valley, get up in the
Hillary wasn't on when I said that. Yo, I agree. I was telling him, like I catch myself listening to recordings of Negro spirituals as well as the Prison Chain Gang songs. They have recordings of those. And I was telling them the reason why I listened to it because the feeling is so much more intense because they were singing to survive the day.
It
wasn't about the show. It wasn't about road. They were surviving the day, and then like the music went along with that. And to me, it was way more powerful. And so
it's raw.
And they were getting ready for the fight. They were in the fight. They were coming through the fight. They were coming through the battle. Now, white people's music or the other brothers and sisters, their music is more catering to their feelings and emotions. Because, you know, even historically, they have pampered themselves, right? And catered to their feelings and making themselves feel okay and emotionally. So you have that. But then when you merge the two together, it's peace.
It's perfect. You notice, because I really named one of my Jesus jams right now. Was You Know My Name, Tasha Cobb's version, but before that it was sung by a white man.
Yep.
I like her version best. So you're right, that merging together is like perfection. But yeah,
now what do y'all think about the Catholic choir stuff, like the Latin omen type of stuff? What about that? Was that in the mix with this?
Now, if they would have never put that music in the horror movies, I'd have been all right.
No.
But because they put it in there, I be thinking about The Exorcist, and I be thinking about all kind of stuff because you know they put that music on them horror movies.
It hits different now.
And you know when
you watch it in a horror
like
movie.
Children of the Corn got a lot of that music in it.
Yeah.
Y'all ever watch Children of the Corn?
Of course.
Malachi?
I never watched it, but I know exactly what it is.
Yes. It's just like they did that thing with that Catholic music and them church choir.
That's what it is. I found who she was.
What's her name?
Darlene. I cannot pronounce her last one. It's Zschech. The one that she sings, "Shout to the Lord." Shout to the Lord.
All right, yo, share it to the page, share it to the group message.
Share it in the comment section so people can find it. Yeah, and everybody else as well, like when I post this, share like some encouraging songs that people can listen to in the comment section.
So I heard her do that song in a worship, like when she did it, and I don't know, it was in some type of worship, like through her church. When I heard her sing that song, "Shout to the Lord," and like how so deep in like worship they were with that song, I'm like, you had people like just like in the middle of the church, like meditating and kind of just like you could just see them in full worship. And it was like, you don't like, I didn't grow up with like a full, like that type of full worship type thing. Like, yeah, we had our moments. There were moments. I'm not gonna say a lot, but when I say like in the church at that moment, no, it was more like, you know, everybody's worship is different though, so it's really hard for me to say that. So like, you know, I just felt like, you know, I loved growing up the way that we did in the church with the, you know, the singing and the, you know, choir and the drums and all of that good stuff. But I can only say that I've been in so many services of straight worship, like, and there, it's just, I love that because I feel that's where you get the most.
It's so therapeutic. Like there's no other feeling, like when the spirit is high and when you're when you're amongst other worshipers and the spirit is high and you know God's presence is there, like you could feel it in the room, and things that you were worried or stressed or stressing about, ailments in your body get healed. Like you just walk out of there feeling completely different when that's happening. I wanted to say too, because sometimes our gospel music can be a little heavy. And I like some of the songs that remind us to be happy in the Lord. And one cool thing was like when I went on tour, we got to sing "Oh Happy Day," but we got to sing it every night, and that was their jam. So much so that they would have an encore after we got done singing it. They're like encore. We leave the stage, run back out.
We all saw Sister Act 2. Oh,
That's
right.
It sure
yeah, we
was.
saw it, but when you singing it to somebody that don't even speak your language, they don't even understand your language, and they're like, "This is the song right here,
right there." That song
it's
right
so
there.
Much, it's the song so much so that they play it in the club sometimes. They play it in the
club. You going to?
In Germany when I was in because it makes them feel good. They feel it and they like it and they want to dance to it, and sometimes it's in the nightclub, believe it or not. And
they play "He Saw the Best in Me" in the nightclub here.
Huh?
DJing and somebody want to come ask you for a happy day.
"He Saw the Best in Me." They used to play that in the club all the time.
Look, never woulda.
Right. Right.
Closest they got was "Jesus Walks" by Kanye West. The closest that ever got.
Yes.
Look, Stomp used to play on the radio, on the secular radio stations as well.
It did. It did.
It was.
No, but I'm telling you, that was.
Did y'all ever go to WP Nicks? Did you? You never went there? No, you didn't grow up in Pennsylvania. Brandon, did you grow up in Pennsylvania?
Yes, I did. Wait, what did you say? Go where?
It was one of the under 21 clubs.
Which one, Hillary? Because you got to remember, we are where whenever you went, it was named different.
Oh yeah.
Wow. Also, I went to one underage club. I was like 18 one time. I'm like, this is horrible. Never again.
Wait, was it a
But they used to play Stomp in that club.
That's
what
how
was the name of it?
Them songs transition. Actually, the Clark sisters, "You Brought the Sunshine," they wanted that to play on, was it on Soul Train or one of them shows? And her mom was like, "No, you're not about to be dancing to this song," because she was strict. She was not having it. But they wanted that. They wanted "You Brought the Sunshine" on Soul Train, and they were like, "Mm-mm." Well, the kids, I don't know if the Clark sisters specifically were like, but they mama was like, "Oh no dancing to my song."
But that's stuff you should want to bring to everybody.
Well, it's not that they don't want to bring it to everybody. They just don't want it. They don't want you to get it misconstrued of what they're singing about. And it was an old school closed-minded approach.
Yeah.
Well, you know that they play that one the one song on ESPN all the time. It's a gospel song. They played on ESPN all the time. Brandon, what's the name of that song?
What gospel song on ESPN?
What's his name? It's one of the choirs. They always has it on there. You know which one I'm talking about?
No, I
don't. Yes, you do.
It, Alicia.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I am. Cause I ain't got no help from you, Brandon. Man.
Hey yo, I'm trying to look it up now. ESPN gospel music. Who are we talking about?
It's the ESPN gospel.
I don't know what nothing's coming up with no choir on there. They got something with Usher sings "Amazing Grace" for Kobe Bryant. That was as far as that went. I don't know.
"Amazing Grace" is definitely another crossover song because everybody likes or respects.
The Mississippi Mass Choir is featured on ESPN all the time.
What song though? What they say?
Wait, hold on.
Mississippi Mass Choir. I'm not tired yet.
I'm not tired yet.
We begin as we do every
Sunday. Oh, okay. All right, now I'm caught up.
It's called I'm
Now
Not
you
I
Tired
didn't know
got
Yet.
it.
it was on there.
Yeah, and they play it. Whenever he's on there, they play that to start everything. Like that's their song to start the ESPN like show.
That's dope.
Oh yeah, there go my song. I told you.
I'll play this one at the club for sure.
It's just like that.
Right.
And I heard this at the club. That Beans Green.
Yep.
It's that
Like Bill
that
too.
one that was played in the
You took
club
me at the club.
around Thanksgiving time. Beans,
Exactly,
green, tomatoes,
right?
potatoes, ham, hog,
Oh,
Right.
dog.
she was so
Right.
mad.
They're buying
Shirley
drinks.
Caesar was so mad they did that to her song. They're like, yo,
Why?
why would you be mad at that? She was mad.
Because
She was not
Everybody
happy.
know that now. Hey, she better get over it. It was a good one.
To me, that either revived or upped her career. Not even Thanksgiving song, ladies. Like,
No,
she's
but
not
whenever you
worried
think of
about her
Thanksgiving,
career.
right? Whenever you think of Thanksgiving, I automatically think of Shirley Caesar.
Right.
I'm like, what we
So-
having for
Right.
Thanksgiving?
it's coming with September. 2 months from now, it's gonna be beans, greens, potatoes, tomatoes.
Yeah,
They're gonna be doing
it
it.
is.
Right. You name it.
So
She shouldn't have sang about food if she didn't want that to happen.
Right.
So number 3, name or share an experience that occurred in your life or somebody close to you where for you it was like, okay, I know what I believe is real. After this happened, there's no way you can tell me that what I believe in is not